Every time you see someone succeed and you say, "Good for them," there's a voice inside you that doesn't agree. Small, quiet, but real. And it's not what you think that hurts. It's not that they made it. It hurts because it reminds you of something you avoid seeing. Something you already know, but don't want to admit. Because if you were honest, you wouldn't feel only happy. You'd feel something else too. A tight feeling, a little discomfort. Why him and not me? And right after that, you cover it up. Yeah, but he had help. Yeah, but he got lucky. Yeah, but he's not that good. Not because you truly believe it, but because it protects you. Because if you accept the truth, then you have to look at yourself. And that hurts more. Because deep down, you know. You know you had chances. You know you could have started. You know there were moments when you could have done something, but you didn't. Not because you couldn't, but because you didn't want to leave your comfort zone. Because you were afraid. Because you were tired. Because you said, "I have time." And now you see someone else who didn't say, "I have time." And that's what burns. You don't envy their money. You don't envy their life. You envy the fact that they did what you avoided. And the more you don't admit it, the more you carry it. You feel it every time you see someone move forward. Every time someone around you gets ahead. You smile, you say the right words, but inside something pulls you down. And you know what's the most dangerous part. You will never call it by its name. You won't say, "I'm jealous." You'll say, "I don't like his style." You'll say, "He's overrated." You'll say, "He's nothing special." Because it's easier to bring someone else down than to lift yourself up. And that's how you get stuck. Because instead of using that feeling as fuel, you use it as an excuse. Instead of saying, "Okay, this bothered me, so something needs to change," you say, "It's not worth it," and that's where you lose. Because jealousy, when it's honest, is one of the strongest signals you can have. It shows you what you want. It shows you where it hurts. It shows you where you're not moving. But only if you face it. If you hide it, it eats you. And over time, it turns into something else. It turns into bitterness. You start seeing the world differently. You start believing that everything is rigged, that there's no point, that everyone is doing something shady to succeed. Not because it's true, but because it's easier for you to believe it, because then you don't have to change. And years go by, and instead of getting better, you get harder, more closed, more negative. And the worst part? You convince yourself that this is reality, that this is just how things are. No, this is how things are. When you do nothing. Because the truth is much simpler and much more uncomfortable. Every time someone else's success bothers you, it's a mirror. It shows you what you want but don't chase. It shows you what you could do but don't try. It shows you who you could become, but you're not there yet. And right there, you have two choices. Either you keep hiding it or you use it. Because the moment you tell yourself the truth, everything changes. Yes, it bothered me. Yes, I felt jealous. Yes, I want what he has. That sentence is power. Because it's the first time you stop hiding. And when you stop hiding, you can move. Because then you don't need to prove anything to anyone else. You just need to start. Not perfect, not fast, not impressive, but honest. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who is ahead. What matters is whether you are moving forward. And as long as you keep looking at others to feel better, you will stay behind. But the moment you look at yourself and say, "Enough," that's when something real begins. Because then you're not jealous anymore. Then you build.